Do you ever feel like life is more complicated than it needs to be? Like there are way too many distractions, too much clutter, and never enough time to focus on the things that matter to you. In this video, I will share 15 simple habits to help you reduce stress, live more intentionally, and keep your home and mind clutter-free. Some of these are very practical habits that take just 2 minutes, while others are mindset shifts for creating long-term balance. The first one is plan a quarterly focus. Each season brings its own rhythms and opportunities. At least here, summer feels more vibrant and outdoorsy, while winter often means slower, more reflective activities. Instead of trying to focus on everything all the time, why not lean into this natural flow and set different priorities for each quarter of the year? The main idea of this habit is to have a clear focus for that period. You can break that into smaller actionable steps if that helps you, but even just setting the intention makes a big difference. It's a simple habit that helps reduce the overwhelm of trying to do everything all at once all the time. The second habit is to have a no by week. A lot of people talk about doing a no by year or a no by month, but if we are honest, that is quite long time if you are not used to all the time thinking intentionally about what you buy and what you bring into your home. So starting with just 1 week can be a great way to ease into this habit and see how it works for you. So for 1 week, commit to only buying essentials like groceries or medications and skip everything else. Of course, this is extremely easy to do if you prepare for it and buy everything beforehand, but that is not the point. Instead, just start it kind of like unprepared and use what you already have at home, like making meals with the ingredients you have already got on hand. If you enjoy the experience or find it very valuable, you can then keep going. Maybe have a no by week every month or try a full no by month. 3. Focus on problem prevention, not just problem solving. Many of the frustrations in life come from recurring problems, things like clutter, forgetting deadlines, or feeling stressed all the time. Instead of always rushing to fix these issues, I suggest putting systems in place to prevent them before they even happen. For example, for me, self-care is a big one. I try to stay consistent with self-care with all these habits that I have, even when I feel good, instead of waiting until I'm burned out. You can start by identifying what tends to trip you up. Is it messy spaces, missed appointments, unexpected bills? And once you know that, ask yourself what small step could have prevented this, and then take action. This habit helps you create a sense of control and focus on bigger priorities instead of always putting out small fires. 4. Regularly reflect on your needs, desires, and struggles. A lot of life's complexity comes from living on autopilot, saying yes to things you don't want to do, buying stuff you don't actually need, or staying in situations that don't feel right. So set aside a little time to think about what's working in your life and what isn't. You can ask yourself simple questions like, what's draining my energy right now? What do I need today? What's bringing me joy? What am I avoiding and why? This reflection habit gives you clarity to prioritize actions that actually align with your well-being instead of just always following what is expected of you. I know that it's kind of obvious habit, I guess, for many, but I believe that it's very easy to neglect. The 5th habit is to learn new concepts and educate yourself. Many people move through life without fully understanding themselves or what influences their decisions. This can leave you stuck in habits or routines simply because you didn't realize that there was a different or better way. So start exploring topics that deepen your understanding of life, like emotional intelligence or different cultures and philosophies. I've been doing this recently with an app called Shortform, which is the sponsor of today's video. Shortform offers very detailed guides and summaries for books across categories like psychology, personal finance, and lifestyle. What I really like about this app from an educational point of view is that you can choose between a 1-page summary and the full guide, which includes all the key points and stories of the book, And then also interactive exercises to help you apply those ideas to your own life. For example, in Jakob Lund Fisker's book Early Retirement Extreme, which is about living frugally to save money and retire early if you want, there's an exercise where you brainstorm 3 ways to save money. 1 big action, which could be like downsizing your home. 1 moderate action, like perhaps selling your car and buy a used one. And 1 easy change you can make, like maybe cutting small expenses. So it's not just about mindlessly consuming the information and then forgetting everything, which I have done a lot in my journey. You are encouraged to think of actionable steps that can make a real difference in your life. They also publish new book guides and articles every week, and the users get to vote on what books to cover, so there are many topics and titles to dive deep into. To get a 5-day free trial, join Shortform through my special link, shortform.com/sunnyKindJourney, or just click the link in the description. 6. Have life admin days. Life admin tasks like paying bills, scheduling appointments, replying to emails, or giving your home a proper tidy up have a way of piling up when you are busy. The problem is that these create invisible stress that sits in the back of your mind, making you feel like you are always behind. So a great way to tackle this is by setting aside a specific day each week or every other week to get all those little tasks done. You can make a checklist of all the things that tend to stack up and work through it during your admin day. 7. Identify your peak energy hours. Your energy naturally goes up and down throughout the day, but a lot of people ignore this rhythm and aim to be productive for 16 hours straight every day. My peak energy hours are usually between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. and I also feel a boost right after a workout. So these are the moments when I focus on deep work or creative projects. And then I save the low energy periods for easier tasks like answering emails, organizing stuff, or just relaxing. For you, of course, this might be different, so I suggest to experiment with your own schedule to find what works for you. This habit has helped me to get more done with less effort and avoid the frustration of working against my own natural flow. 8. Learn when you need a break. Many of us push ourselves way too much, ignoring the signals when it's time to slow down. And I think that overworking doesn't lead to better results. I think it leads to diminishing returns, whether it's in your work, decluttering your home, or even exercising. When you push too hard, you become tired, less effective, and you lose the focus, draining all the fun from that activity. So learn to spot the signs that you need rest. It could be headaches, that is my number one sign, being annoyed all the time, or feeling physically fatigued. Sometimes the clock or the day of the week doesn't tell you your energy levels, but your body does, so listen to it. Now I know there are times when you don't have a chance. Maybe you have small kids or you are in the middle of a packed workday, but when you do have the option, give yourself permission to take it easy and do whatever you think you need the most right now. 9. Unpack immediately after returning home. Coming home with bags full of stuff, it's very tempting to stop everything and sink into the sofa, but putting off unpacking often causes more hassle than it's worth. The bags end up sitting around, things get forgotten, and the mental weight of I should really unpack that right now starts to pile up. So I suggest making it a habit to unpack as soon as you walk through the door. Put everything where it belongs, like laundry in the laundry basket, groceries in the fridge, or work supplies back in their place. For me, this habit has now become quite automatic, but it took time to build it. I think starting to treat it as a non-negotiable part of your routine will help it to stick. The 10th one is to turn off notifications. I think we all know at this point that notifications can pull our attention in 100 different directions, creating mental clutter and making it so difficult to focus on anything. I did this for many apps I use, and honestly, I was afraid I would miss out on something important, but of course I didn't, since I check my email once a day anyway, So it was just all in my head. This habit frees your mind from constant interruptions, helps you focus more deeply, and especially starts to rebuild that attention span, which many of us have lost over the past few years. 11. Spend time visualizing and daydreaming. This is something we used to do all the time as kids, dreaming about what could be. But as adults, we often settle for what is. So taking the time to dream freely and imagine what changes you could make and how your life could look can help you figure out what you should also prioritize. For example, if your home feels chaotic, picture how you would like it to look and feel: calm, organized, or full of light. That vision or that dream gives you clarity and motivation to actually start making it happen. 12. Build boundaries around your time. You can, for example, start defining specific on and off times for different parts of your life, like work, family, and personal time. And during that time, nothing can interrupt that action. Like if you're working, you are working. If you are with your friends or family, you are with them and not checking your email. Using tools like time blocking, alarms, or digital calendars can also help you stay consistent and honor the boundaries that you have set. The number 13 is add friction to bad habits. Bad habits often stick around because they are easy and convenient. Things you can do without much effort or thought. By adding a little bit of friction to these habits, you can disrupt them and make it easier to choose better alternatives instead. So first, of course, start by identifying habits that aren't serving you, like endlessly scrolling your phone or snacking late at night or spending money impulsively, and then create small obstacles to make those habits harder. For example, log out of your social media apps or delete them entirely, so you have to re-download them every time you want to use them. I actually did this and it really helps. For snacking, you can keep the treats in places that are not immediately visible or don't buy them at all, so if you want them, you have to walk to the store. For impulsive spending, you can leave your credit card at home and just take a little bit of cash with you so you can buy the things that you are going to buy anyway. If you want to take an extra step, you can also pair this friction with positive reinforcement. So you place something positive there where there was before negative, like leaving a book where you used to keep your phone, or have some fruit where you had snacks before. And after a while, you may notice that you naturally reach out for the better option. 14. Release the need for control. The desire to control everything in life often comes from fear or anxiety, but it usually creates more stress and complexity than it solves. As minimalists, we can sometimes fall into the trap as well of trying to keep everything in control 24/7. I've started shifting my mindset to control more the input instead of always the outcome, and it has been a big relief. For example, if a situation feels very frustrating, I ask myself, what can I realistically influence here? And from there, I can focus on that and let the rest just be. 15. Don't postpone your happiness. Too many times we tie our happiness to the future, telling ourselves that we will finally feel happy once we hit a big milestone, achieve a goal, or fix something in our lives. But this mindset traps us in a cycle where we are always chasing happiness and never quite reaching it. So ask yourself, when can I be happy, if not now? Happiness doesn't need perfection. Life can be messy, but there's often beauty in that imperfection if you let yourself see it. And when is your life fully perfect anyway? It's probably like 5 minutes every now and then until you realize that there's actually a problem after all. So stop waiting for a better time to feel happy. Sometimes the moment you are in is already enough. If you would like to know the minimalist rules that I am following this year, check out this video next. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay kind and meaningful in your own beautiful journey. See you in the next one.